Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite Swedish defenseman. And on today's episode, the Sharks waste Erik Karlsson's 4-point night as they lose 7-4 to the Detroit Red Wings. So we're going to talk about Karlsson and how he has established himself as the Norris favorite and potential Hart candidate at this rate. James Reimer's bad night. Plus, it's Friday, so you're 3 Fridays of the week. So, all that and more on today's episode of Locked On Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin and San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch this on YouTube today or every episode as well. So, we have to start with Erik Karlsson and what he is doing right now in dragging the Sharks to be a somewhat relevant hockey team, and just the pace that he is on right now to just be one of the most outstanding seasons that we have seen from a player. So before we get into that, do want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline's got you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than before. BetOnline, where the game starts. And Erik Karlsson again tonight. 2 primary assists, a secondary assist, and a goal where he fires it off of the Detroit Red Wings player right in the butt and into the goal. Just absolute snipe. But what Erik Karlsson is doing right now in dragging this Sharks team to be fun, exciting, any sort of relevant team right now is outstanding. And I've come on this podcast several times. I spent this first segment doing the exact same thing of just, how great Karlsson is. And I'm running out of words to talk about him. I mean, it is absolutely insane what he is doing. Like look at the Kevin LeBanc goal. He catches the puck kind of almost like a wide receiver catching it over the shoulder, grabs it, throws it down the ice in the same move, and then is able to pass it between his legs to a wide open Kevin LeBanc, who's able to score on the first goal of the game. Like, who does that? It's insane. Just the confidence this man is playing with right now. Again, a goal that another play he makes in the game, a pass to Barabanov, a stretch pass to Barabanov that springs Barabanov for a potential goal. Like, he is playing just so with so much confidence, knowing that he can just do whatever he wants on the ice, and the only thing that can stop him is himself when he tries to. Apparently, at least we didn't get the fall this time, but there's nothing stopping Erik Karlsson. And how could you not say he is kind of planted himself as the best defenseman in the NHL right now? He is. I think he has to be the Norris favorite. And you could convince me he is a potential Hart candidate. At least in my mind, he's the most important player to his team, right? Connor McDavid is the best player in the world right now. Austin Matthews, an amazing player. David Pastrnak is having an outstanding season. But what Erik Karlsson is doing, he's the most valuable player to his team. Those other guys, they're surrounded by talent, That's no knock against them. Leon Draisaitl, an amazing player, right? You look at the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs stocked with talent. Like the Bruins, a lot of amazing, they have literally a line called the perfection line, right? Taylor Hall plays on the second line of the Bruins. That's how they are a very good team. The Sharks have Timo Meyer, very, very good player. Tomas Hertl, an amazing player, right? Logan Couture is having a great start to his season, but Erik Karlsson right now is making everybody on the ice better when he is on the ice. You know, like again, that pass to Kevin LeBanc. Who tries that? And not only who tries that, who succeeds at that? Erik Karlsson does. Springs Matt Nieto for Matt Nieto makes a great play. That's 2 games in a row. Matt Nieto has a personal vendetta against me for coming on this podcast and saying he's a perfectly cromulent player. But two games in a row, Matt Nieto has made outstanding plays to score goals. Erik Karlsson sets him up. Logan Couture is able to pot a rebound shot because of an Erik Karlsson shot. And then Erik Karlsson just decides to go full, Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself, and scores the game-tying goal, and then the wheels fall off for the Sharks. But I have watched hockey. I got into hockey, when I was 10, 11 or something like that. Grew up watching the Flyers. Eric Lindros, my favorite player as a kid. It's probably still my favorite player. The Sharks had Joe Thornton. We've had Patrick Marleau. Sharks have been blessed with a lot of amazing players, but what Erik Karlsson is doing right now, I have never, ever seen in my life. Of just a man who, anytime he steps on the ice right now, he is dragging this team to be a relevant team. Without Karlsson, this Sharks team is 1 or 2 wins this season and fighting with the Coyotes for being the worst team in the NHL. And they were a very bad team to start this season. But Karlsson, again, what he's doing right now is just, it's insane. Again, he is the second most points in the NHL he's a defenseman with the second most points in the NHL. Contributed to all of the Sharks goals tonight by either scoring himself or being one of the setting them up. Appreciate what Erik Karlsson is doing right now, because it might be a long time before we see someone who's on a heater like this. And I don't know if he can continue all season. The way he's playing right now, I don't see how it ends. So unless he gets hurt, there's no end in sight, I think, with Karlsson, just because what he is doing to make everybody around him better. He is the most valuable player in the league when it comes to being valuable to his team. I'm not saying he's the best player in the league, but with that value of what Karlsson is doing for the San Jose Sharks, nobody else can match how important they are to their team like Erik Karlsson is with the Sharks. So before we continue to actually dive into this game, let's take a quick break. Today's episode is brought to you guys by BetOnline. BetOnline has got you guys covered with more props, odds, and lines than before. They have the number one source for your betting information with stats, news, and analysis. You can find all the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there. So you got football. You're going to have bowl season coming up soon in football, which is always fun. On random Tuesday, you put on, football on. Basketball is full swing now. You got college basketball getting going. Soccer, you have the World Cup. Esports, they've got you covered. It all on betonline.net. They're the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fixed. So head to their website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right. So the Sharks lose 7-4. And I think we have to start with James Reimer, because I honestly thought Kaapo Kahkonen was going to play. Reimer got the start tonight, his 4th start in a row, and you wonder if the workload is starting to catch up with him. He came out and said he did not. Said he had a bad game, totally owned to it, and that's the type of guy James Reimer is, right? James Reimer is going to take the blame himself, and he did not have a good game tonight. And I wondered if, I know the Sharks are trying to crawl back into it and trying to kind of figure out who they are right now, but you have to worry about this workload with James Reimer. I know he is your best goalie right now, but giving up 6 goals tonight, and there was some stinkers, especially the Sutter goal where he decides to try to come out and play it, and then the next he goes full starfish because 60% of the time starfish works every time. Sutter just kind of skates by him and pops it in the net there, and you can't expect James Reimer to start 50, 60 games for you this season. You have to try to get Kaapo Kahkonen involved again. And I thought tonight would have been a good night to play Kaapo Kahkonen. I know, yes, the Red Wings scored 7 goals tonight, but this team's been struggling to score goals, and we haven't seen a lot of offense from them. I thought tonight would have been a good night to try to get Kaapo Kahkonen and maybe see if you can try to rebuild some of that confidence. And then let Reimer get a little bit of rest. You got a really good Rangers team coming to town on Saturday. So, yeah, again, I expect James Reimer to bounce back, but I'm a little worried about the workload with him. So, again, we'll digging into Reimer's stats. So all situations tonight, 20 shots, 14 saves, 6 goals against. Expected goals against was 1.69. So just a stinker game for James Reimer. 700 save percentage, 6.15 goals against allowed. And it didn't matter where the Red Wings were shooting from. So he had 7 high danger shots against, and he made 4 saves and gave up 3 high danger goals. We're used to Reimer seeing, giving up maybe 1 or 2 in there. Mid danger shots against 8 to 6. He get 8 shots against, 6 saves, 2. And that one kind of surprised me because of how good Reimer has been at making kind of the easy saves, right? And then low danger shots against, 4, gave up 3, 1 allowed. So I don't think the defense particularly helped him out a lot there. That felt like it was a lot of kind of defensive collapses, and guys kind of not in position. And defense was kind of scrambling. But this is just one of those games too where, it's like it was just a lot of goals scored in this game, and it would have been nice to get a save once or twice there. But yeah, again, just a little worried with Reimer, especially with the workload he's had the past, since he's come back to San Jose. He's defeats all the young goaltenders, but then you have to let some of these guys play because starting James Reimer 4, 5, 6 games in a row, it's just a recipe for disaster later on, right? So I think Kaapo Kahkonen has to get the start on Saturday. Give Reimer the weekend. Sharks, I think they play the Sens on Monday type of thing. So let Kaapo Kahkonen play. Again, you're not going to start Reimer every game, but you got to get him some rest at some point too. So as for the rest of the team, forward lines, Labanc, Hurdle, Meyer continue to just eat and do what they do best, right? So 13, 16 at 5-on-5, 21 shot attempts and gave up 10. So they continue to just be a dominant line of just trying, creating offense and controlling the puck. Shots on goal was 8-4. Had 2 goals, but gave up 2 as well. 17 scoring chances compared to 6. 10 high danger chances compared to 1. Ridiculous. 11 neutral zone starts. The Sharks didn't really get a ton of offensive zone starts. It was very kind of, there was a lot of goals scored. You're going to start in the neutral zone a lot. So 3 offensive zone, 11 neutral zone, 2 defensive zone starts. So the Nieto, Couture, Bear, Benov line, pretty solid night for them as well. Had 11-28 time on ice, 11 shot attempts, 4-12 allowed. Actual shots was 4-4, had a goal, gave up a goal as well. Scoring chances 7-6, 3 high danger for them. So, and then kind of a more even 5, 4, and 4 when it comes to the zone starts. So again, that line, it's working well. And I think Barabanov's emergence is kind of the big reason why I think that line is clicking so well. We saw it again tonight, how many great plays he had tonight, coming out of the penalty box. He steals the puck, makes a great dangle on the defender and sets up. I think it was Couture who is out front, and if Couture pots that, that's one of the biggest highlights of the season. I talked about the Erik Karlsson breakout pass earlier, where Karlsson's kind of standing in, between the dots in his own great bank pass off to Streaking Barabanov, who again makes a great move and has, is able to get almost kind of Timo Meyer-ish power forward. So Barabanov, his vision, and then the way he protects the puck using his body. And I think the new hair, I think it's the confidence with the new hair or something, whatever it is, I don't know. But I was a little skeptical on Barabanov when they re-signed him, just because I thought last year was kind of, what if this is kind of the best Barabanov we're seeing? But the Barabanov we're seeing right now, after coming, getting back 100% from that injury and finding his groove with Couture, this Barabanov's way better than the one we saw last year. And he made some great plays last year, but the way he flashes right now, and just again that puck protection of his and his vision, I think is such an underrated aspect of the way he plays. So great job by Barabanov. And yeah, you got to keep these lines together. Again, I know until someone can dethrone Matt Nieto, but here's my 30 seconds. Matt Nieto is a great defensive player who can, uses his speed and is able to create scoring chances. In the last 2 games, he's been able to make great, kind of plays by himself to, finish some of those scoring chances. Last game against Vegas, great move up tight, is able to roof it, right? This one, he kind of goes through 4 Red Wing defenders. Great job by Matt Nieto. Again, he has these little spurts. We know exactly what Matt Nieto is. So, but again, Matt Nieto, you're playing great right now. I'm sorry for, yes, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll get a Matt Nieto jersey or something, Long Beach native jerseys or something to say I'm sorry. So, but Nieta's playing great right now. That's the thing. Nobody has been able to kind of dethrone him on that second line. So I guess you just have to go with Matt Nieto by default until somebody can dethrone him. But he's kind of like the James Reimer of the second line, where he just, anybody challenge him for that spot, he just kind of knocks him down, and he keeps winning the job right now. So at least until Bordelot and Eklund are ready to jump up. But Matt Nieto is playing great right now. That line is working really well. And Couture is kind of found the well, of this season. I think he's got 8 goals so far this year, which is, he's on pace. We're gonna do a Monday. We'll kind of, instead of kind of recapping the Rangers game, we'll probably do more of a big picture on where this team is at 20 games into the season, and kind of look at some guys that are kind of above expectations, and maybe guys who aren't and stuff like that. And Couture is above expectations, and 8 goals right now, that puts him on a 30 goal pace this year. So, which would be a very nice surprise for Couture, who's we've seen him starting to kind of slip the last couple of years. So he seems to be healthy. He's got a great partner in Barabanov. Good for Couture. So before we finish up, we'll kind of look at defenseman, talk about Nick Cicek and why he needs to stay on this, despite when Redeem gets back. But first, I want to let you guys know, of course, about Locked On Sports Today. Thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. But for your second listen, go check the Locked On Sports Today podcast. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Nick Cicek. Congrats, Cicek, getting your first point. I really like his game so far. In his, again, small sample size, 2 games, but I kind of, when he was coming up, right, I was like, if you like Jacob Middleton, you're gonna love Nick Cicek. Kind of the same style of player, and we saw the Sharks have kind of said we want Cicek to keep playing here. They waived Scott Harrington. As when you guys hear this or early in the afternoon on Friday, you'll know Scott Harrington's fate. There's a small chance he might get claimed. If I had to guess, it'd be the Blue Jackets, who are it's a mash unit over there, especially on the blue line. Harrington played for the Blue Jackets for a couple years. Vet min contract. They could grab him. They know exactly what they're getting with him. That would be my guess. If the team grabs him, it would be the Blue Jackets. But if not, he'll be on the Barracuda, who kind of also needs some help on the blue line right now. With Cicek up, Pouliot's out. I think Hadaka is also banged up right now. Merkley got he had a slash. I expect him to play, but they might need some help on the blue line right now. They called up I think Billy Constantine from the ECHL from the Wichita Thunder as well. So just keep an eye on that. But Cicek, though, when Shimmick comes back, Cicek's coming for somebody's job. So his offense has actually been the surprising part, where we saw it more in the Vegas game, but not afraid to get into the offensive game, shooting, pinching in when he needs to. So I think he's going to be a fan favorite among Sharks fans here soon. So really liked his game tonight. If you look at the hockey stat cards on Twitter, if Twitter's still alive after you guys listen to this, but every game they put out kind of where kind of how each player ranks on a team. He was 5th among the Sharks players after the game tonight. So Karlsson, of course, was first. His offense was just like almost broke the chart, just how big much. But Kevin LeBanc, great game, right? Timo Meier, great game. Nick Cicek was 4th, and it was his defense is what really carried him. So Vlasic, tough night tonight. But Vlasic's played really well tonight for the most part of this season. But again, Nick Cicek's coming for somebody's job, and I think he might be one of those guys who sticks around too. So don't trade him, though. Keep Nick Cicek around. Don't trade him for a goalie like Jake Middleton. But yeah, Cicek he's good, man. I don't know what to tell you. So he's gonna be a good player for the Sharks, who's going to just kind of fill that role. I don't know, not much more you can ask. So but yeah, Vlasic, kind of a tough night tonight. Benning was okay defensively. Offense didn't provide much. Megna, I think, also kind of a little bit of a tough night as well. But the defense is the defense. Detroit was just kind of on a roll tonight, and they were probably due some goals after the last couple games for them. Where so yeah. So the Sharks 7-4. We'll kind of see how they respond. Big game again. They got a really good team coming in on the Rangers on Saturday, and then they play the Sens. So, and the schedule kind of softens up here for a little bit. We'll kind of see if this team can kind of build on the momentum that they had after, before this Red Wings game. So, let's get into, of course, this Friday. 3 Fridays of the week. You probably know it's going to be number 1. But number 3 Friday of the week, I'm going to give it to Tomas Hertl. Starting to see it coming. I know a little frustrated in the Vegas game, but he's doing a lot of the other stuff right. So, and we're going to continue he's been scoring points, but I think we're going to have that big, kind of like how we saw Timo kind of have that big Timo explosion recently and go on a run here. I think we're about to see that from Hertl. So you're seeing the signs of it going there. So yes, I wouldn't be surprised if, again, we're probably going to see like a 3 goals in 2 games type of situation. I thought tonight was going to be the night for Hertl, but he's driving play. His line is dominant. His line is one of the best lines in the NHL. I pulled up on Money Puck the other day. I think they were 7th in Corsi among forwards lines who played at least 40 minutes together. So, and Hertl's centering it, and he's a lot to do with that. So number 2, Barabanov, just a great showing this week. Had the overtime game, or the shootout game winner against the Wild, was a madman against Vegas with 2 points, and then was awesome tonight against the Red Wings. So could have had 2 highlight goals, or at least highlight worthy, plays. But he's been great. He has really helped solidify that second line and help make Logan Couture a lot better. And it's Erik Karlsson. I spent the first 8 minutes of the show talking about how awesome Erik Karlsson is and why he should be the Norris winner, and we should be talking him as a potential MVP candidate. So Erik Karlsson is the most important player to his team. Again, he's really good. Also, if you're Erik Karlsson hater, like, I don't know what you're doing to yourself right now, man. You're just crying in your milk. So, all right, that's going to do it for me today. Be back. Maybe we'll do a live show on Saturday night. We'll see how I'm feeling. I was supposed to do stuff this weekend, but that all fell through. The whole family is sick except for me, so I am hanging in there. So maybe we'll do a live show Saturday night. We'll talk Rangers, we'll talk Sharks, we'll talk Barracuda, Barracuda is starting to turn things around here. So if you're not watching the Barracuda Saturday, Barracuda game is going to be free on AHL TV. So if you want to see the Barracuda, you can watch them on free on Saturday. So I think it's either 6 or 7, I forget. So have the Sharks game up and then the AHL TV on your computer and watch them both. Let's plan on a live stream on Saturday after the Rangers game, so we can talk Sharks Barracuda. Then you can, of course, follow the show on if Twitter's still around. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Trying to put more stuff on, Instagram. So if you want to follow the show there, now's a great time. Putting all, kind of all the big highlights there on Instagram as well. Started a Locked On Sharks Discord, so I'm still kind of figuring that out as well. So I'll let you guys know as I kind of get that going here a little bit. So, you can also listen, of course, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. Wherever you get podcasts, you can listen. Wherever you listen to this now, you can continue to listen. If you're on Apple, please leave a 5-star review. Very little review. Makes me feel good about myself. So, YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. And until Saturday night. Bye, friends.